Welcome to Simply Debbie Sue's Southern Whispers. Step into a world where front porches hold secrets, faith carries folks through the hardest days, and the mountains whisper stories only the heart can hear. I invite you into tender moments, gentle humor, and the kind of Southern warmth that feels just like home. Welcome back, friends, to the Henhouse Whisper Series. Each week I have shared a new story from the coop, and if you're just joining us, I have a playlist titled the Henhouse Whisper Series where you can go back and enjoy those earlier episodes. Today is episode 5, and it's the last story. So let's just get into the introduction of this story. Today's story centers around Henrietta Mae, the bossy, confident hen who believes she runs Clovebend Farm with her sharp eyes and sharper opinions. In this tale, she faces what she calls a major crisis, and the other hens jump in as her loyal and very confused supporting cast. This story is called Henrietta Mae and the Great Crisis. Henrietta Mae strutted out of the coop with her usual morning authority, feathers fluffed and chin lifted like she was inspecting her kingdom. She hopped into her feed bucket podium and cleared her throat. "Ladies, gather up. Emergency meeting." Dolly Pearl gasped and dropped her tiny leaf she'd been carrying. Miss Lulabelle fluttered her feathers dramatically. Clarence crowed at a fence post. Henrietta paced. The farm wife didn't come out on the porch this morning. Not once. Not a single sigh. Not a single coffee cup. Not a single stare into the distance. This is a crisis. Dolly Pearl whispered, "Bless her heart." Miss Lulabelle sighed. "She must be heartbroken." Clarence blinked. "Bug?" Henrietta Mae lifted her wing. "Ladies, humans don't just change routines without warning. Something is wrong, and as the head hen of this establishment, I will investigate." The hens followed her in a dramatic little parade, Dolly Pearl waddling nervously, Miss Lulabelle posing like she was in a romantic novel, Clarence wandering off twice until Dolly Pearl nudged him back. They reached the porch, empty, still, quiet. Henrietta Mae gasped, "She's gone." Miss Lulabelle placed a wing over her chest. "She ran away from sorrow." Dolly Pearl clucked sadly. "She must be exhausted." Clarence crowed at a butterfly. Henrietta Mae marched around the side of the house, feathers puffed with determination. The hens trailed behind her like confused ducklings. They peeked around the barn door. There stood the farm wife, humming softly while folding laundry, completely unaware of the hens staring at her like she was performing a dramatic monologue. Henrietta Mae froze. The hens froze. Clarence crowed at a hay bale. Dolly Pearl whispered, "She's fine." Miss Lulabelle sighed, "Not heartbroken at all." Henrietta Mae's feathers drooped. "She's changed her routine. Humans can't just do that." The farm wife kept folding laundry, humming, stepping around the barn like everything was perfectly normal. She never looked at the hens. She never spoke. She simply lived her human life, unaware of the crisis she had caused. Henrietta Mae turned to her flock. "Ladies, crisis averted. She's safe, but we must remain vigilant. Humans are unpredictable." Miss Lulabelle nodded solemnly. Dolly Pearl clucked with relief. Clarence chased a dust mote. Henrietta Mae strutted back towards the coop, proud of her leadership, proud of her hens, and proud that she had once again saved the day, even though the day didn't actually need saving. But in her mind, she had done something important, and sometimes that's all a leader needs. So the reflection of this story is, Henrietta Mae reminds us that caring deeply can sometimes look dramatic, worried, or even a little over the top. She teaches us that love often shows up in the form of checking in, paying attention, and wanting to make sure everyone is okay, even when everything is perfectly fine. Her story shows us that even when we misread a situation, the act of showing up still matters. I hope you enjoyed this series, and I'm sad to see it come to an end. But sometimes an end is not always an end. We may see these hens and Clarence in future episodes. You never know. May these stories that I have written wrap around you like a well-loved quilt. May they remind you that God is near, hope is steady, and joy often comes softly, like a whisper on a southern breeze.